Hey, I'm James from Smoke a Dad Barbecue, and today we got a treat. We're doing pork belly two ways. I've got a pork belly we're gonna cut in half. Half of it we're gonna cure into some bacon, and I'm gonna show you everything to build a great tasting recipe for some bacon. If you wanna make bacon at home, it's really affordable, super delicious. And the other half, we're going to create some pork belly bacon burnt ends. You heard me right, all those awesome words in one amazing tasting sentence. Pork belly bacon burnt ends. So you're not gonna wanna miss this. Let's go back in time to about a week ago when we built our dry brine and we threw these in the fridge for 6-7 days, flipping every day to get ready now when we're gonna season them up and throw them on the Kamado Joe. All right, welcome to about 5-6 days ago when it's time to make our cure, to make bacon. So I'm gonna make a double batch. So the recipe in the description will be for one batch that I'm gonna make in front of you, and I've got another batch off camera. That's just because I can't fit this whole pork belly in a single vac seal bag, but if you had a bigger bag, you'd be more than able to double the recipe and do that. So we've got some kosher sea salt, black pepper, brown sugar, pink curing salt, not regular pink salt. This is special curing salt. You don't want to mix that with any of your other recipes. Maple syrup and some distilled water. So I'm going to go ahead, mix it up, and then we'll cut this in half and start to transfer to our bag, and then we'll add in our curing solution. Let's do it. All right, it's been about 6 days since we put our pork belly into the fridge. I've been flipping them every day after about 24 hours just to make sure we get even doneness of our brining solution penetrating both sides. And you can already just tell the touch picking this up is a lot stiffer and less bend than before. It still moves a little bit, but it's definitely a lot firmer to the touch than when it was raw. So I'm going to move over to the sink and we're going to cut these out of their bags, rinse them off as best we can, and then we're going to put them in the ice water bath and let that go for about 3-4 hours tonight before drying them off as well as we can and throw them in the fridge. They'll go in the fridge uncovered overnight, and then we're ready to smoke them on the Kamado Joe. And the reason this step really matters is to make sure that the meat is not too salty. I did this the first time. Nothing more exciting after curing a pork belly for a week to get into it, smoking, and have some bacon. But it was something we had to throw out, just completely not edible if you didn't do this step. So some people like to add potatoes or something like that because that helps extract even more salt. I didn't notice a big difference when we did that. I just found a couple hours in an ice water bath is more than enough. So we're gonna try and push these as far down into the foil pans with some ice water as we can. I'll change the water maybe halfway through, and other than that we'll be good to go. So let's move over to the sink and get ready to begin rinsing these off and putting them in the ice water bath. Alright guys, let me bring you up to speed. We had a little mishap with the recording and I lost some of the video, so I'm just going to walk you through what's happened since we last left off. So we put our pork belly into 2 pieces into the cure in the fridge, and we've been flipping it every day for about the past 6 days. Then where I lost the video is getting ready to go on the Kamado Joe. So we did 2 things. We seasoned up our bacon side of the pork belly with a homemade rub. So we just used garlic, some onion powder, and a couple savory accents to help make a great tasting bacon. And then we seasoned up the other half a little differently, and we did that by cutting the pork belly into about 1.25 inch thick strips, and then into 1.25 inch thick cubes. We have nice big square bacon cubes, and we added 1/3 cup brown sugar, and then some barbecue rub to that. Mixed it all up, tossed them in a bowl, and threw everything on the Kamado Joe. So you're all caught up, so I'm going to bring you a little bit closer so you can see what's going on, but we're going to have 2 different cooks going on. We have our bacon slab, which we're going to try and bring to about an internal temperature of 185, 190, and then we're going to wrap it and throw that in the fridge overnight before we slice it into our bacon. And those burnt ends, there's no way they're making it past dinner, but let me show you before bad things happen to them. So let's go a little closer. Oh my goodness. I wish there was such a thing as smell-o-vision, because what just hit my nose is incredible. Let me just zoom in so you can see that a bit better. And so we are now at about the 2-hour mark. So for about an hour at 250 degrees, everything was on the grill together. After about an hour, we flipped the bacon burnt end. So you see that brown sugar starting to caramelize up real nice. Let's take a look at where we are for temperature. So 207. 214. So these are pretty much done. So I'm going to get ready to now sauce these up. We're going to toss them in some sauce and put them back on Kamado Joe just to finish and glaze. And then our bacon slab underneath, I think that's also getting ready to pull off. So that's a little firmer, and that is 189. And so that's about perfect. So we don't want to take this all the way to where you would a shredded pork, pulled pork, or a brisket or anything like that, because we want to cool it off. We're going to wrap it tightly, put it in the fridge overnight, and that'll allow the smoke just to penetrate the bacon all the way through. And then it's much easier to slice when it's cold. So let's go ahead and close the dome and get ready to sauce our burnt ends. All right, so we're going to pull off our bacon and let it rest. Once it's cool, I'm going to wrap that in saran wrap and put it in the fridge overnight. And then we're going to put in our burnt ends in this bowl, drizzle over some barbecue sauce, which I've reduced with some apple cider vinegar, toss those up and throw them back on the grill, let them tack up. Just bring you in for a close-up here so you can see what we're looking at. These are going to be awesome! Okay, back to fast forward. So these are all coated up nicely. We're ready to throw them on the Kamado Joe and let that sauce tack up so it's nice and sticky, and dig in. All right, so we let our bacon cool off a little bit after coming off the Kamado Joe. That's just so it doesn't melt through our saran wrap. And so what I'm gonna do is just stretch out some wrap it really tight, and put it in the fridge overnight. And that's just gonna help that smoke flavor really absorb into the meat. So let's wrap it up, and I'll see you tomorrow when it's time to slice it. All right, guys, it's time to slice our cured, smoked, and ready to go pork belly into some bacon slices. I'm going to bring you a little bit closer so you can see what we're doing when we're slicing it, but this is already cooked. We're just going to slice it, put it on some wax paper, and freeze what we don't use. And anytime we want some awesome bacon, we'll be able to pull that out and throw it on a cast iron pan, and we're ready to go. So let's get some slice and some bacon. Alright guys, thanks so much for hanging out with me today. Really appreciate you spending the time to learn how to cure, smoke, and enjoy some awesome homemade bacon. This is just half of one pork belly. We already cooked the other half into pork belly burnt ends, and so for $20–30 you just get a ton of utility out of this awesome product. I hope you get to enjoy it as much as we do, and it's time for the mandatory plug. If you don't already, please hit that like and subscribe button below to catch future videos, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Until then, I'm Smokin' Dad. See ya.